seeing from Weibo's first pick is the Mbessa towards Zika taken away and maybe saved for later for Xiaoxu.
I mean, this means that Nico's up, but it's actually going to be a Vi first pick. Poppy's up. Xin Zhao's up. A lot of these duelists that can fight against Vi, I'm surprised. Like, you could go Xayah, Rakan. You could even just take the Xayah. There's a ton of safe AD carries as well. We've seen a bit of Ezreal into the Vi as well. So, I am surprised by the Vi first pick, but I think, you know, Weibo obviously rate this pick high. It is game 1 of Fearless, so taking away something that's pretty all-encompassing, has a lot of options in team fights, is quite nice. I wouldn't be surprised to just see an Ezreal or Karma.
I do really like the Karma already. A lot of peel ability against a comp that's going to be centered around Vi's engage in a lot of these cases. So that's going to be really nice to kind of build around now for JDG. I think they can go with something a little bit more supportive in the bot lane. I wouldn't mind the Jhin for a game. I know Elk's been a little bit more of a fan of that one, but Xin Zhao that you mentioned earlier is going to make it on through.
Well, this is a pick, I don't know, I'm going to say it's controversial in the LPL. I haven't really heard any of our casters talk about this pick, but in the LCK, and actually in some other regions too, but to the LCK, this pick is disgustingly overpowered. It's always winning. They did a whole segment on it in the space, on the desk, and the LPL has not been successful with this pick at all. It's looked very uncomfortable, and that's a worry going to first stand, right? You don't want one of the best mid laners on the patch to be something that our players can't really pilot. And Aurora, no flex potential here at all, unless we're seeing bot lane Aurora. It's probably going to be Zika with this top lane pick, but that's blind. Blind. So Xiaoxu has the option to pick into it, but instead, this is a really good pick. I like this. So this is a flex, and it can go either lane. Might just be the Ezreal, though.
Ezreal does get locked in for Gala, so taking that away from Elk, but also giving himself some safety against what's a lot of damage already for Waybo. I'm very curious at how Waybo want to continue building their comp. Obviously, a lot of AD potential is going to be coming through from whatever Elk picks, but the kind of double AP solo laner is going to be really curious to see how this worked out for a game 1 of this best of 5. As we go into the second phase of bans, though, we do see that Nautilus and maybe some more bot lane focus for both teams.
No Nico ban so far. It's been very prioritized in the LPL. It's fallen off like a cliff in the LCK towards the end of their playoffs, and I was very surprised. And the LPL continued to really like to pick it. We've pivoted more to this Enchanter bot prio style lane, and you kind of can't get prio against Ezreal Karma at all without jungle intervention. Vi is good at ganking, but in the 1v1 against Xin Zhao, she'll just lose, right? Xin Zhao's a great duelist. She really needs that level 6 to make the team fights work in her favor. So, I mean, for bot lane push, if you want to try to answer it, you're looking at maybe an Ashe Seraphine, something like that, a Caitlyn Lux, but we haven't seen any of that, so you're most likely going to have to give bot lane push.
Yeah, and I do wonder, like, that's going to be a big talking point as we go out there with this series and see exactly what the bot lane's looking like, because what we know can't happen is there would be a lapse down there for JDG. Maybe some wiggle room for Waybo because Elk always seems to turn it up, but I specifically am really putting a lot of weight on the shoulders of Gala and Vampire to kind of keep stable against this bot lane 2v2 against Waybo. And now JDG going to save their counter pick here. They're going to go ahead and get that Scion locked in, and it'll be looking like that mid lane counter pick, even though we've seen both solo lanes.
Yeah, the Scion is a nice little a safe pick in the top lane. You know, it's losing into the Aurora, but you're happy sitting there farming, getting the W passive stacked up. But this kind of means you can't go the Galio anymore because you don't have enough damage. If you do go the Galio, it needs to be full AP Galio, maybe with a whole lot of Radiance in there, but I would prefer full AP, and then you kind of lose this counter, right? You still get the magic shield, but I think we need some kind of damage, preferably some range to have with your Ezreal Karma. We've seen Ezreal Karma Zoe. We've seen, you know, some Syndra, maybe Victor played as well. But Waybo have a ton of team fighting potential here with the Nico. They can slot in any 80 carry here. Jhin is nice. Like this is a tough lane, the Kai'Sa, but giving Elk the Kai'Sa, it's coming out.
I think it's about to get a little bit chilly in here, fellas. That's insane. We get the Gala on the other side matchup against the Kaisa, because Gala's obviously well known as the Pentakill Prince on the Kaisa, but Elk I feel like has taken the mantle here recently. But the ending up setup for JDG is going to be extremely tanky, extremely group oriented with that Galio locked in.
You got the double globals from both teams. Oh, sorry, the one global on each side. Didn't say that the correct way. I think on JDG side, you've got, like you mentioned, frontline, a lot of space and time buy with the Xinzao. Enchanter with Xinzao is always nice. I think that Galio has to go some kind of AP, otherwise you're really relying on Gala to do a lot with JunJia, and still it's a lot of, physical damage. Waybo have great side lanes with Aurora Rise. You can't really answer that. Great ganks and team fights start. It's quite difficult for JDG to start a fight without HongQ going in for a taunt or flashing in, or Xiaoxu coming in from the side with an ult. You have on the other side Nico, Kai'Sa to follow, Raya's ult to catch people out, the Vi, the Aurora that can access the backline as well. I think that Weibo have a ton of options. JDG need to find some very specific fights where they're either up numbers or they can really keep distance with this Ezreal Karma.
Yeah, I mean, the safety, if they play respectfully, if they play a little bit defensive for JDG, can be extremely well done. I think sometimes they get the better of themselves by being a little bit too aggressive, but with this comp, if they just hold on and wait for those big on 5-on-5 team fights later into the game, it looks really strong all put together. But they've got to be a little bit careful about the aggression that's going to be coming out from Waybo, the team setup that's going to be coming out as we crest into the lower bracket finals here of the LPL Winter Split. One of these teams, JDG or Weibo Gaming, is going to first stand 2026.
Something funny about the first stand thing we were talking about a little bit is that Viper. My God, I forgot Viper's name. I was thinking Ruler for some reason. It just completely slipped my mind. Viper is the sole remaining defending first stand champion, and he is going to first stand. So he's the only person from the entire tournament that even made it back. He's the defending champion until, we get potentially HongQ and JunJia coming in as well. But I think that's pretty funny. I think do BLG count themselves as like half champions, half defending champions? I'm not exactly sure how that works, because the real champions, they were out 10th.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I want to go back to your point though, obviously, because I think narratively wise, it's so cool to see that JunJia and HongQ have been a driving force for this JDG team in their first split here, back in the LPL, obviously for JunJia, but for the first time for HongQ. And it's still been their style a lot of the time, and it's been really, really fun to watch. It's been a breath of fresh air, it feels like, in the league, and in their first split, they're already potentially making it to finals. Obviously, we've got a lot of game to play, and we'll see if that actually comes so. But as we take a look at the map state, it is going to be the opposite side jungling path for both junglers, and a lot of priority game by JDG bot.
Didn't exactly see what happened down here level 1. We were kind of looking over the map, but Erha had to base very early against this Ezreal Karma. Elk's doing his best to farm, but look at the CS gap. It is, there is minions to catch here for Elk, but that's not going to get evened out on this wave. I'm really surprised by the fan prediction there, or the official broadcast prediction, I should say. 76% Weibo, I think it was the number. That's insane. I was not expecting it to be this Weibo favored. But remember, Weibo did beat JDG twice in the regular season in the double round robin, and have looked pretty hot so far. JunJia down here in the bot side, getting his Scuttle Crab, and looks like Jiejie will be up the top, clearing his Scuttle Crab. The level 6 Scuttle Crab, Mazel, is something that we've spoken about quite a lot. I'm really interested to see how these two junglers that we've spoken about, having history together, want to play around the Scuttle Crab this series.
Gonna get low here. Didn't end up burning the heal. We have JunJia right there just in case to be able to put him down. He does make it out alive, so there won't be a kill there. He will have burned the heal. Still has the flash, and the flash got burned by Gala there. So a couple summoner spells for the one. inside of JDG, but a lot of prio still being fought for here in the bot lane.
Oh.
As Vampire goes in, Elk's gonna flash. JunJia stayed around, waited, goes for the 3 Talon strike, and the Mystic shot takes him low. Elk down, first blood, JDG.
Kind of perfect. Vampire flashes with the W tether, forces Elk to flash, and then JunJia's waiting behind. Jiejie is here. JunJia has no flash, but I don't think that Waybo can do any kind of dive, so it's just going to be a really nice first blood over to Gala in that play. I mean, JunJia stayed there for so long waiting for an opportunity, and finally Waybo give him one.
Looks like Jiejie wants to force some of this turret plate gold if he can. Get this wave in, make sure it does end up crashing. Doesn't end up sticking around. There's going to be Elk that finally makes it back to lane. A little bit of chaos in the bot lane early. Isn't going to lean out too much. Both junglers are going to head back into the map. We will have objectives here coming up shortly. But I want to ask you, Jbetto, what buff is better? Going all 5 games in every series you played in the upper bracket for JDG or the lower bracket run? Because I feel like both have mysticism around them.
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to try to not be biased. I do
You a
think...
lower bracket run fan?
No, I'm a JDG fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. My reasoning behind picking the upper bracket is that they played more games. Now, I don't know if this is a team, you know, some teams, they play more games, it looks worse, they need that time off. Time off makes them come alive, but I think it's never a bad idea to have more game time in a playoffs when you can really get a grasp on meta, drafting. Pardon me, it means that if JDG do go to a best of 5 like they've been doing, they are very comfortable in that 5th game.
Elk is just getting oppressed down here. Just really doesn't have the range to keep up with all the poke that's coming his way. The prio there with the waves crashing consistently. About a 20 CS differential right now. And Elk's going to try to clean up a few of these scraps here before the turret does try to get himself a little bit more even. But bot lane is bleeding here, and Waybo going to need to figure out a way to get Elk online.
Well, there's the level 6 scuttle. Jiejie will level up, but JunJia's around the dragons. This is why I was surprised about the Kai'Sa pickup. I think this lane is impossible to play. I think JDG did a really good job of, if this is how they want to play the game, and I think this is what I'm going to... Oh, hang on, maybe I'll wait. Waybo, don't want to give this dragon up for free.
JunJia is not. The smite will go his way. There's going to be the heroic entrance used for mid lane. The cease and desist comes down with the Void Seeker on top of it. Elk helps a little bit, but I don't know if it's going to be nearly enough. The Crescent Guard buys so much space, and JDG find 2 more kills, maybe even a 3rd, and they fall for the bait. They go for the clone. I don't know if they'll be able to catch him at this point, but it will be a clean fight from JDG and the objective secured.
I mean, Vampire can just chase him to death, but the thing is that Erha will most likely, even if he does get caught, just be able to execute. Unless Vampire bomb plant in right now. No, Erha's already in base.
No
there we go.
way.
So I wanna talk about this. I don't know if this is the right time, but I'm gonna say it anyway. We've got some downtime here. I mean, you know, the grubs are up in 50 seconds. Haven't been super prioritized by our teams here. In the last 2 series, so BLG and JDG and Weibo versus AL, there was 9 games. And the team that got soul point, not soul point, won the game. I'm going to Realm Warp down bottom.
Oh, Gala's in some trouble. Waiting for him to use his Arcane Shift. And Elk is the one that claims the kill out of all 3 of the people just battering down Gala.
And that's how you use this side lane comp, side lane access. Very strong from Ryans. We're talking about that in draft a little bit. And this time the kill goes over to Elk. The first on earlier onto Gala was on Xiaohu, but now Gala has fallen twice. You won't be very happy about that, but JDG still maintain a gold lead. But yeah, what I was saying is that in those 9 games, the team that ended up getting soul point won the game. And you might say, well, Jbetto, that's because they were up gold. No, that's not what happened. Sometimes they're up gold, sometimes it was even, sometimes JDG specifically was down many thousands of gold, and them getting soul was enough to bring them back into the game. It's just the strength of soul point, the threat of the soul. Both of these junglers did a really good job in their respective series of smite stealing against the opponent jungler. So I'm really excited to see. I mean, are we going to get some flips? JDG have the first dragon already. We've got the 2 strongest damaging souls off the table already, but we could high roll into a Cloud Soul. I think for Kai'Sa, Nico, for Vi, for Xin Zhao, those are really, really strong. Sorry, that's soul that's really, really strong on those champions.
And while you were talking, we saw JunJia very aggressively take 2 camps right out from under the nose of Jiejie there, so he'll continue the small advantage that he's had and potentially go on to the other side to try and stop the favor return from Jiejie, as he will be surrounded here. Gonna have to use the wall breaker to get over the wall. Gonna go straight to the turret. True shot barrage. It might clip him. Oh! He steps out of the way. He will be executed. Just a quick reset for the jungler of Weibo.
Yeah, nice execute. Does feel a bit bad though, and a bit lucky for Weibo that that true shot barrage didn't hit. It means that JDG have tempo now to push in all their lanes, potentially go over to these grubs, but like I said before, the grubs have been really undervalued this year, Mazel. I think teams aren't really committing to this split push style. I think when the year started, there's a lot of people saying, well, the extra gold that you can get from the turret plates, the extra XP that top laners get inherently from their role quests, like surely we're going to see a split push meta. It's been all about dragon stacking. It's been all about bot lane and rotating down. And I'm not saying that there's no point in cross-mapping to get gold. It does work like that, but Soul is so powerful. I mean, it does require you to throw a little bit, but take a look at the, the JDG BLG series in game 1 where BLG got Baron, they were up a good amount of gold, but JDG were able to get Soul, and they brought it back with some really, really nice late game team fights. Scaling for both teams is something that I want to kind of shift the conversation over to here. I think Weibo have so much damage. It's ridiculous. They have Aurora, Riot, Kai'Sa, and still great team fighting. I think that as an engaged champion goes, I think Nico scales really well in team fights because she has so many options. It's not like, like a Nautilus where, okay, he scales because you've got guaranteed confirmed engage with the R, but Nico, you can be so sneaky, you can be so creative with it. JDG have to not switch off for a moment. If they do, if Gala dies, like, HongQ's going protections. There's not enough damage to really get through Weibo before Weibo just executes you.
And Weibo did a really good job of getting El kind of back in, at least. He's still going to be under distress down here, and especially once they go for this tower dive, but they did a really good job of stabilizing the ship, it felt like, for Elk, as he still will be a major force with time coming. Erha with a 3-level down difference between him and JunJia tries to run away from the very forward stance that JunJia's been taking into the jungle of Weibo time and time again. There is the dragon up, could be a second dragon for them. There is the grub trade on the other side if Weibo want to go for it.
I really love this macro from JDG. They push down JunJia to the bot side, clear out vision, push out Erha, chunk out Elk, and have positions around with the global ult as well. Even though HongQ's down tempo in mid, he can join at the same time. So this is just great dragon macro. I mean, all summoner spells are available for Weibo. They're not weak at all right now. They're only down, 1.5k gold. Sundered Sky completed for Jiejie. Xiaohu is at a decent spot. HongQ doesn't have a full item yet, but the raw tempo advantage this Ezreal Karma and the bot push provides you means the dragon is just done.
And Elk got his backstop. Just wanted to try to get a quick reset off, but that True Shot Barrage did signal him to stay. As TP going to be used back to the mid lane by HongQ. Will come over to join the invade as well. Pick up a nice little blue buff gift from JunJia. And so far, JunJia has been all over the map, consistently pressuring Weibo's decision-making tree.
What a nice jungler. HongQ says, I'll TP in for the fight. No, I'm kidding. I was just here for the blue buff the whole time, and now I've got infinite mana and some good cooldowns. I am concerned, though, for this JDG comp. It's Chemtech Soul. With the tanks, that's quite nice. They'll be really tanky, sure. The shielding from Karma, it is scary. It's not a bad Soul this game by any means, but unless HongQ ends up going damage later, unless JunJia has a ridiculous game on Xin Zhao, which I'm not saying he can't do. Xin Zhao does do quite a bit of damage. It's all on Gala. Gala has to have a ridiculous pop-off game, and if he's, taken out quickly in fights, I think Weibo just have superior late-game damage. I think they have better team fighting just looking at their team comp. JDG are a great team fighting team in general, but The early game has gone over to JDG. Something that, I mean, we spoke about earlier is the fact that JDG were down gold in every game against BLG. Some people make the comment or the joke, BLG could have won 5-0 in that series, which is definitely true. But JDG with a little bit of a gold lead here. I want to see them start ramping up the pace. When these 2 items come in, I think we've got Trinity Force finished. We should have HongQ finishes his first item now. It is. He's got the boots. When these 2 items come in, we need to put our foot down on the pedal and start pushing this lead forward further.
And we saw that there was lane swaps initiated by JDG. Also got the grubs going there. We see the play from Xiaoxu initially attempted onto Elk, but now he's just going to be locked down by the duo here. The plasma stack's doing work, but he is still tanky enough to make it out alive. So it won't be much but turret plates for Waybo on the bot side play, and still 100% neutral objective control from JDG.
Now Waybo tried to get something back, and I think that Elk has a nice little, you know, decent chunk gold lead for himself. But, I mean, you can't really take down the Scion that well because he does have that Kanik Rooken completed, right? So, okay, it wasn't me. I was a little worried because that happens to me sometimes.
The beauty of being a piggyback broadcast, baby.
It's okay. You know what? I'm worried. I hear we might be back. We are back.
Baby.
Lovely. Thank you, Huya. Anyway, we've got some problems going on here, obviously, but we'll continue to talk about the game just a little bit before. Hopefully we get back in soon. Yeah, I think that with Xiaoxu having this Kanik Rooken, he's able to kind of fight Elk just a little bit, but I don't know about this much.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, hey, we've seen this before. Elk this time wants to really make him pay. He's going to revisit. I can't believe they were successful at going down here and oppressing Xiaoxu yet again. It will be a kill going over to Elk, so much needed gold there. Did see the setup on the Rift Herald, though, go the way of JDG. So they literally just took back-to-back topside neutral objectives. The turret should go down to Waybo.
I was half expecting Xiaoxu to just say screw it and ult up to clear the next wave. I think he was trying to get it, but Elk was ready with the block, so Xiaoxu doesn't pull the trigger and ult, keeps that so that he can ult back to the lane. I'm assuming he's just going to ult to a lane here, get back faster and get those minions. Maybe he'll just walk. I mean, home guards are very fast, but outside of the dragons, Mazel, it's been a little bit of Waybo finding some picks and then JDG just waiting. We're waiting for our spikes, we're waiting for the next dragon, and that's where we're going to play our game. I feel like this is how they won their games against BLG, and it seems like they really haven't diverted that strategy at all. They're happy to just continue to do that in this series.
I mean, from draft, we talked about the difference between these comps, right? We talked about the fact that if JDG play a respectful game until they get to those 3 item spikes, this comp is going to be extremely hard to break once they're all 5 together. And yes, there's some great scaling options for Waybo, but it's definitely a lot more mechanically intensive, execution-based composition from Waybo this time around. And you know, from their run in the lower bracket, we've seen they've been able to handle comps like that. But so far, Jiejie has been put pretty far behind in terms of tempo on the map, and that's not typically the winning ways of Waybo. About 1,000 gold lead for JDG ahead of this potential 3rd dragon for them.
Gala has to be taken down, but he has both summoners up, and Vampire has heal, has her echoes finished as well. HongQ can join with TP, so Waybo, I don't know if they have the grounds to stand here at all. Jiejie would need to go in for a steal. Maybe Erha can find a really nice ult, but it looks like they've already just given up the dragon. Remember, in the last 9 games, the team that gets soul point just wins the game.
JunJia's even going to play with his food a little bit here. Doesn't finish off the dragon just yet. They're going to use the Rift Herald play into the Waybo team. He's going to get double knockups there. The taunt comes down, and that's going to be a decimating smash for Elk's face. That's a huge pick off by JDG, and now they might even want some more. He was not able to seal away the blue. The dragon did end up going down, so that's soul point for JDG, and they just seem to be running the Rift.
I think JDG's macro this series, or sorry, this game 1 has just been much better. Erha's a minion, won't catch out JDG at all, but it feels like 3 dragons have gone completely for free. The first one, okay, it's early in the game. JDG have bot push with Ezreal Karma, but the last 2, especially that one, JDG was late, and they still managed to, with their push, get onto this dragon with great positioning. The setup was awesome, and then really nice engage from the two tanks, who have enough base damage to just take down Elk.
He had flash.
He did.
Oh no!
I'm gonna forget that part because I still.
Oh no, dude! Why?
I still remember Elk Kaiser from the regular season, and I don't want this performance to taint that, because you do just have to flash that.
That's a tough one. He'll be saving that one for potentially the next fight coming through, but that's going to be painful now with this about 2,000 gold lead. And the thing about this is it's not that much of a gold lead. We've seen bigger comebacks from even JDG themselves. But it's about the map control. It's about the fact that they've had 100% neutral objective control, which is almost unheard of in the LPL. We've had it a couple times this split and a couple times in the playoffs, actually. But it is very few and far between, and JDG have done an excellent job of kind of righting themselves after their loss the last time around.
I mean, I was talking about in the draft that Weibo have great side lanes, right? They have Ryze, they have Aurora. Aurora with this Leandry should be able to do a decent amount to the tanks, at least, you know, get push, but Galio, like Tank Galio and Sion are getting push in the side lane, and Weibo are just grouping up mid to look for some random plays here. Maybe Gala will step up, guys, and we'll be able to ult him, but that doesn't happen. So they're losing gold on side lanes where they should be winning, right? You've got Ryze Aurora, -1. And then JDG are still winning out in mid because they have superior wave push with Ezreal Karma. So Weibo feel a little bit all over the place. They feel a bit dizzy in this game one. I really think that they aren't playing the comp to the comp's strength, and they're losing a lot. All the objectives, yeah, but they have the only gold lead is Elk, and we saw how he played that last fight, or what happened to him. If Elk dies and Xiaohu and Zika aren't in a position, you can kind of flip the script about what I was talking about on JDG's side. If Elk is dead, there's a very, very short-range comp from Weibo up against Ezreal, Karma, Xin Zhao. It's really hard for Weibo to continue going without, you know, wave priority.
And something I will say that maybe Weibo want to try to rely on, I don't think it's the most reliable thing to do so in, but Jiejie has been a masterful smiter so far these playoffs. He has been incredible. He's going to need to put that on full display here if they want to try to pull this lead back in any way, especially in about a minute and a half when that soul could be coming up for JDG. But Weibo is still struggling to get to those third items here. Obviously, on the other side, JDG has not reached that precipice just yet either. But it's about those second item spikes that are really going to play a heavy role in this next fight, Jbetto.
Yeah, I think for Xiaohu, you know, Seraphs and Roa, upgrade a Roa, like it's great, but you're not level 16, which is where you get the third point in ult. You get the ton of, I think it's overload damage, I think that's what it's called. And then obviously you want the actualizer. That's 3 items. For Elk, it's the same. You really want Nash's or Dusk and Dawn, depending on if you're going to go that. If you're going to go full crit caster, which it looks like he might be, then the 2 items is nice, but you'd still love the Fiend Hunter bolts to fight. But, you know, Galio Ezreal, Xin Zhao at 2 items is really, really strong. Trinity Force Mana Moon is a massive spike. Galio is very tanky with a little bit of damage. And I don't know if JunJia can die at all right now. 30 seconds on this Soul. Chemtech Soul with a Karma. All these shields and the double tank already. Weibo need to do something, but again, JDG are first. They have better priority and a better setup around this Drake. Weibo are completely choked out.
And for Weibo, you'd hope to get in there before the locking pieces of the armor kind of come together, but they've already come together. All 5 members from Weibo and JDG going to be surrounding over this dragon here. Going to have a move from Zika potentially from mid lane. He's pushing the lane right now, but the dragon has been started by JDG. They need to fight this one or just hope to save until the Elder Dragon, I guess. But it's going to be JunJia who pulls out the dragon now. Weibo going to slowly move in. They have no vision. Zika's looking for a flank. Maybe this is the opportunity. Erha's just dead before his Pop Blossom even goes off. Heroic Entrance comes back and all 5 strong from JDG. Roar triumphantly against the Weibo that has beaten them time and time again here in the winter split. They'll turn back for their bounty in the soul.
Their setup is just so good from JDG. They make it look really easy. The setup is great. The vision is good. They push out all of Weibo, take the fight, have no chance of a flip. This looks completely different to how JDG Weibo was in the regular season. I mean, they've got Soul. Again, 100% win rate in the last 2 games. My kind of sample size. Baron up now. Weibo are around, but they don't have a jungler.
HongQ playing a little bit aggressive here. Now Xiaoxu is going to take a little bit of tickling from Waybo. It does seem like JDG pretty hesitant to do the Baron off the back of that one, so they'll leave that one alone for now.
I like it. JDG have gold that they need to spend after doing that Soul and getting some of those kills as well, or just the kill on the Jiejie and Erha. But I think that for JDG, they're aware that the only way that they start losing this game is by taking a bad fight. They don't feel like they're comfortable around that dragon, so even though they most likely could have, you know, it's probably like an 85 to 90% play. They're worried about that 15 or 10 to 15%. They reset, they get better vision. You know, Vampire's stacked up his wards, refilled his wards. You've got HongQ in the bot lane pushing out. Very, very strong. He is going more damage now, which is good to see. And has TP available, so I like it. You know, you're not rushing the game. Weibo are losing minions bot side because they're forced to stay grouped. Earlier, I was saying that Weibo really need to utilize their side lane pressure, but right now, because of the threat of the Baron and Xiaohu doesn't have TP, he has to be hovering within ult range. If JDG started up and Xiaohu and HongQ are in the bot lane, or even Xiaoxu, either of the side laners for JDG can TP over, and Xiaohu will be left in the side lane. So JDG playing it fairly slow, but with the Soul in their back, they're very strong.
Really careful with that subtle strength they're going to be having now. Also, a little side point is, you know, that matchup we wanted to put on a precipice here, at least on a pedestal, is going JunJia's way so far. And I got to say, Jiejie did not have much of a say in this setup already, and that can't be happening for the way that Weibo have been winning their games. It is a lot of the time propped up by Jiejie's earlier parts of the game. Now he's going to have to find a way in. It doesn't seem like Weibo are giving up just yet, at least. It will be about 3.5 minutes for that next Elder Dragon. Really, they're hoping this scaling is going to pay off. Runans has been completed for Elk. He's really going for some of that attack speed and extra AoE damage during these fights. These grouped up 5-on-5s.
I don't think I've ever seen this build from a Kai'Sa before. I mean, if there's anyone in the world I'm going to trust about a Kai'Sa build, it's probably going to be Elk. But yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about this. It feels a little desperate. We just need more AoE damage when that's what your comp has a lot of anyway. But look, Master Elk Sensei, I will listen to you. I will trust you. And if you lose, results-based analysis says the build was bad. And that's my kind of analysis. I love that.
The theme of the night so far is Elk does a nice little sidestep there. There was an attempted flank by Erha, but he gets found out initially, and now there's not much setup that Weibo can pull up besides the cease and desist combo from Jiejie. They're still going to try to surround this one. Erha is still playing on the back end of it, but you can just see how hard it is to crack into the armor of JDG.
There's a lot of peel. Zika is invisible.
Goes for the
Weibo's going.
Worlds Realm Warp. I mean, Weibo are just feeling desperate at this point. They need to try to get a fight somewhere. Elk gonna try to get his way in here, but Xiaoxu just tanked all of the damage that Weibo threw at him. Heroic Entrance gonna come in on top as well, and Weibo are starting to lose some of their pressure here. They're about to lose their mid laner too. He does flash away, gets away from the root, but the flash play from Xiaoxu comes through. HongQ's gonna follow through with the taunt coming, but he gets knocked back in the end by Jiejie, who does make his way out with the cease and desist. Really nicely done. Zika goes forward, tries to get his own damage in there, doesn't nearly have enough, and guess who's been untouched the entire time? Gala on his Ezreal. He was just chunking away at Weibo the entirety of that fight.
Yeah, has 3 items finished. JDG was winning a 3v4 at a time there. JunJia spends so much of that fight zoning Erha away, so the team fight never really comes. Weibo try on a potential overstep from JDG, but JDG have enough. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. He finds Erha and he pushes him away out of the fight completely, so that Pop Blossom never comes out. And JDG, they just front to back. Their damage is very, very nice. If you can't kill Gala, I guess you... What I said earlier about if you kill Gala, then there's no damage. And that is true. But if you can't kill Gala instantly, you don't have enough damage at the moment to take down Chemtech, Sol, Galio, Xin Zhao, and a Scion. It's just not happening. So, you know, that we try to snap onto Gala, it's not fast enough, Erha's not there. And the play is mute. Now, crucially here, I mean, there's 30 seconds until this Elder. Gala has both summoners. Elk does too, but you've got no flash Erha, no flash Jiejie, no flash Xiaohu, no flash Zika. There is some mobility on the carries for Waybo, but they are very vulnerable, and the engage is not strong.
See Waybo very hesitant to move in. The Elder Dragon is the deciding part of this game. It feels like if JDG win this one, they could just push to win. Xiaohu getting caught. The 3-talon strike knocks him up for long enough. The root doesn't come through, but JunJia does. For his team, he has been everywhere this entire game number 1 of this best of 5. And that should just mean a 4v5 go in the favor of JDG at the Elder Dragon.
For Waybo, like, what do you do? Do you give Elder and Baron? Like, you've given everything this series. Oh, sorry, this game
Literally everything.
You haven't done anything in this game. You've got a couple of picks on side lane, one of them on a Scion. You caught Gala out twice early in this game. The Elder is being done. We're TPing back, but again, you can't get past this front line. It's just going to be taken before you even get in.
Clone tries to go through. It's not enough. 4 members strong while JunJia is just soloing the Elder Dragon. It feels like Weibo can't do anything, and they know it too. They try to go in for one last gasp after Pop Blossom comes in on a multiple, but the Elder Dragon has come through, and the wings have sprouted on JDG's back. They are headed for the sky, and they are headed through Weibo here in game number 1. Absolute domination. Only 4 kills and 1 turret so far for Weibo, and everything for Jindong Game.
JDG have had massive problems with overstepping, overplaying when they don't need to throughout a lot of their games, and this game is nothing like how their mistakes have come to fruition in the past. It is so calculated, it is slow, but it's methodical, it's perfect even. They haven't dropped, like you've been saying, a single objective this game so far. What, 1 tower has been taken for Weibo? They've had nothing to do in this game. They have sat by and waited for some scaling to come on. And they do have scaling, but no matter how much you wait here, Elder, Sol, Baron, Grubs, they have collected Exodia, and you don't outscale that.
And for what Kaisa was the weirdest part about this comp in a lot of ways, but it's not like these aren't champions that they're comfortable on. I mean, a lot of these picks are things that could have been relied on later in the series, even now, but it just has not worked out in this game number 1. And I give so much props to the reservation that we needed JDG to have with this composition, and that they did so, right? Like, that has been a key moniker for JDG, is sometimes getting too aggressive. That's why they find themselves in deficits a lot of the time, even if they come back from those. But in this one, it was methodical, it was ruthless, and they have picked apart Weibo piece by piece. Oh my god, they're just having fun with it now. Erha almost just gets killed from range. JunJia's going to get himself another kill. It's going to be his 4th. Elk uses his killer instinct to get away as a little bit of defensive tool. But look, like, all of this damage that Weibo has done is going to be on Xiaoxu. When we look at the post-game graphic, you look at all of Weibo's damage, just imagine that being all onto Xiaoxu and him never having died, at least from the earlier parts of the game. And this is just JDG kind of finishing the job here. They've done all their due diligence in this one. An almost 10,000 gold lead to kick this one off in the Elder Dragon from distance with the True Shot Barrage. Everything going JDG's way, and they are looking like a beast to handle from Weibo. They've got to go back to the drawing board here, Jbetto.
Yeah, so many shields being generated. Like, it's impossible for Weibo to play the game at the end there, but I mean, what a start from JDG, a statement. They come out, they've got a plan, they play it perfectly. Weibo, I feel like, yes, they have scaling, but it didn't really feel like they came out hungry enough in that game 1. Like, they didn't really look for any aggressive team fights. They didn't look to make any playmaking, but the biggest part about that game, it felt like, and there's honestly not a lot to talk about. What it was JDG with bot prio. This is so 2022, which is fun, unless you're losing. we get bot prio, we have a roaming mid, we have a jungler who likes to fight, we stack Drakes. The blocking was so perfect. That was insane from JDG, the way that they were just able to stand 4 in a line while JunJia does the objective and kite Waybo out and say, no, not this way, no, not that way, our vision is perfect, we know where you are, you're on the wave now, there's nothing you can do. JDG make it look extremely simple.
Yeah, I think that's the crucial part about this, is it just looks so clinical from them. A very, very stable draft as well, so I expect that to kind of be the moniker so far in this series. But it's also a situation where, you know, Xiaoxu is dead. It's gone. It lost. Yes, Gala maybe wanted that champion later on in the series, but that big pick is gone now, and you really have to start thinking what this 2v2 in the bot lane is going to continue looking like, and what that jungle matchup is going to be. I expect Jiejie to come back with a vengeance in this next one. No more Vi. Give him something that can go toe-to-toe at least with JunJia on the other side.
Ow. That's all I'm going to say about that one. I think we're talking about Xiaohu, how he had a fairly quiet split 1 and against AL looked great. It felt a lot like split 1 here. I think you're playing a Ryze that should win in side lane, have access to side lane. We saw one play under Gala where he gets a great ult, gets a kill. That was it. There was no other ults that did anything really. And this is kind of the problem I was talking about a little bit earlier, where other regions in the world, especially the LCK, are destroying games with the Ryze. In the LPL,
Yeah.
It's not really finding any value. It's not doing well. And in this game, it did basically nothing. I think that, and we need to see, you know, Xiaohu on something that he's comfortable on, that he can actually have an impact in the game, because I think a lot of Weibo just weren't really connected together in that game. You know, jungle wasn't really that active, making plays, looking for ganks. The top lane was almost invisible. For, you know, not as if Aurora needs, you know, can be 10-0 on Sion, but Erha, I don't think he hit a single pop blossom. I was talking about creativity on this pick. It didn't happen. I don't think Weibo played bad. Like, they just didn't play. They kind of sat there, waited for the game to come to them.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Exactly. I'm just disappointed in Weibo right now.
It's a tough one, especially when we've seen such proactive games from them in their lower bracket run, which has been incredible. There's nothing to discount that so far, but my God, that steepness of the gold graph looks like you're climbing up to Mount Everest at that point. And again, I think all those damage numbers you see on the right side for Weibo, those should all just be attributed to damage taken by Xiaoxu, and Gala was able to free fire in so many different ways.
Like, Xiaoxu is a Sion against Aurora. He's not farming damage numbers. He's not even hitting. And Xiaohu on Ryze did less.
Yeah.
This is like top 3 mid in the world globally. If you look at play rate and win rate, it is really, really strong. And it just couldn't find anything. I think the JDG, they didn't reveal anything there. They've shown exactly what they've been showing. We want to play through, you know, bot prior. We're going to stack Drakes. JunJia is great around these skirmishes. Our team fighting is where we are best, and that's what we're going to do.
And they stuck to that like glue, and a lot of that came to, you see the amount of these clips that will have JunJia as a part of the kind of key pieces in these fights. And yes, there was a couple of really good side lane plays there from the side of Weibo, but this play, man, this was a backbreaker for Weibo.
Flash! I think maybe, is he CC chaining into dead? He is. Maybe he's spamming. I mean, he could have maybe even flashed out there. He had enough time to, he barriered late as well. This is the setups, right? You can't do anything. Erha dies before the ult goes off. JDG are still leashing the dragon while they're fighting Weibo off. Like, again, we find a pick. It's very methodical from JDG. It looks very, like, almost LCK-esque. It's very high-level gameplay. And it might, to some, look boring. I'm not some. This is what you want from a team that is looking to go back to finals and looking to qualify for first stand.
I think it's such a cool story. Again, I talked about it at the beginning of the game, but if this is going to become true, the fact that this is the kind of first split back in this this setup, at least for JunJia, but also for his duo from CFO days and all the hype that was built up by HongQ that last year. It's been really, really fun to watch their story so far, and we're going to continue watching it if things are going to continue going like this. I'm just still mind blown that it was like 1 turret and 4 kills for a professional League of Legends team in the top 4, top 3 of the LPL, top 3. And I just think it's so crazy.